In 2010, Sofia Coppola made history as the first American female filmmaker to win the Golden Lion Award, which is the top prize at the Venice Film Festival. Now, even though she is known globally for her work as a director and filmmaker, her personal life is pretty private. But here are a few things that only die-hard fans know about her. Hey, before we get into the video, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment below saying I subscribed, and we'll do our best to personally reply to your comment. The Chanel Internship. Born in New York City in 1971, Sophia was by default exposed to the highlights of life at a pretty early age. As she grew, she began to pursue a passion for anything artistic and beautiful, and she also had a brief love for photography and later fashion. Her father, Francis Ford Coppola, and her mother, Eleanor, were both filmmakers, and the fact that she was raised by creatives opened Sophia's mind and eyes to the beauty of the creative world. And as a result of her parents' influence, she was also given a chance to watch plays and movies, as well as watching firsthand all of the directing and producing that went into making a good film or play. And she was completely mesmerized by it all. However, what she was really interested in at the time was fashion and design, and so at the age of 15, through the help of her parents' influence, she had the opportunity to intern at Chanel, one of the leading French fashion houses at the time, and even now. Now, being around that environment, Sophia's love and interest in fashion and design expanded and began to morph into ambition as she began to nurse the intent to one day own her own fashion and design brand. Eventually, she finished high school and gained admission into college, but because of her passion and drive for fashion and design, Sophia decided to drop out of college to start her own brand with her friend Stephanie Heyman. The name of the clothing line is Milk Fed, and is now being exclusively sold in Japan. That's a fact most people don't know about Sophia. Sophie's career uncertainty. While most people know Sophie as an excellent filmmaker, they assume that because her parents were the same, the career path was an obvious no-brainer. The narrative is that she was born to be a filmmaker. Now, this may be true, but what they don't realize is that filmmaking was not the initial plan for her at the beginning. As a matter of fact, Sophie had a lot of career options to go for even at a young age, and surprisingly enough, filmmaking was not an alternative for her at the time. She was interested in fashion, art, design, modeling, music, even photography, and she was confused on what she wanted to do for a personal career. Impressively, she was also good at all of these things. She was an excellent photographer, model, and also had a great eye for fashion, so this made her decision all that more difficult. But her father, a filmmaker, while being proud of his daughter, took her along on a lot of sets and even offered her appearances in movies. That was what created a new interest for Sophia, and her eyes began to open to the career path that she should take. Played in more than 10 of her father's movies. Another thing a lot of people don't know about Sophie is that before she even went into filmmaking proper, she had appeared in several movies in the past, right from when she was an infant. The first role she played was in The Godfather. She was only an infant at the time, but she made an appearance in the film in the baptism scene. She also appeared in several other of her father's movies, like The Outsiders, The Cotton Club, and also Rumblefish and Peggy Sue Got Married in 1986. Now, not only did Sophie appear in the movies, she also got the opportunity to play alongside huge stars at the time and was exposed to a star-studded career even at an early age. Seeing as Sophie grew up in an environment of talent and acting as well as collaborating with her father as a teenager, she made one more collaboration with her father where she co-wrote the movie Life Without Zoe in 1989. With the help of her father, and after the successful launch of the film, Sophie became more confident in herself, and as a result launched her creative work, which led to her making her first short film, Lick the Star, in 1998. She realized that it brought all her interests and passions together: photography, fashion, writing, and filmmaking, and this is what she loved about the short film. The stage name, Domino. In all the years that Sophia worked with her father and appeared in his movies, even as a teen, she was lively and rambunctious. A lot of the other co-stars loved her and enjoyed being on set with her. But what a lot of people don't know is that while on set as a teen, Sophie specifically requested to be referred to as Domino. A lot of people might have heard of the name, but may not be sure where it came from. Sophia's teenage mind considered the name cool and fun, and so she mandated everyone on set refer to her as that name. It became her stage name, and even her father had to call her that while on set. The film that sprouted love. As she grew up, Sophia began to gravitate towards being behind the camera as a filmmaker and director, and as a result, she was behind a lot of successful films and movies. Most of the movies she created were inspired by books that she had read. However, after reading the book The Virgin Suicides, she felt inspired as it reminded her of her time as a teen. Due to the personal connections she felt with the characters in the book, she felt she needed to create a movie around it. It was during the process of making that movie that she met her present husband, musician Thomas Mars. At first, their relationship was strictly professional, as they came together to produce the soundtrack for The Virgin Suicides. However, as time went by, their relationship grew to become something more serious and romantic. They're currently married with 2 daughters, and very typical of Sophie, she and her family have managed to maintain a low profile over the years. Sophia's bond with Kirsten Dunst. So no one has ever heard of Sophie having close friends. As a matter of fact, and because of the low profile that Sophia likes to keep despite her success and fame, all she really had were some colleagues and acquaintances, and no one in the movie industry could really say they knew her all that well, except one. Her name, Kirsten Dunst, and she and Sophie have a special bond. As a matter of fact, Kirsten appeared in 4 of the movies Sophie has created and put together, including The Virgin Suicides, Marie Antoinette, The Beguiled, and the friendship between the two has continued to bloom. It's safe to say that Sophia and Kirsten are truly best friends on and off the camera, and the extent of their friendship is evident in how Kirsten speaks of her. Kirsten has mentioned in several interviews how she's eternally grateful to Sophie, not just as a friend, but as a helper and encourager. She says that before she met Sophie, Kirsten lacked confidence in her ability to act and read scripts. But through Sophie's guidance, they worked through it until she became better at it and delivered in the movies. To date, the two are still very close friends, continuing to help and complement each other as they make their mark in Hollywood. So which of these facts about Sophia caught your interest the most? Let us know in the comments below, and check out the next video coming up in this series.